Welcome back to the Floor Chapstick Podcast, where my will to live is only just a little bit stronger than Deontay Wilder's jaw.
Press 0. What are you talking about?
All right, Austin said it before once, and well, I'm going to say it again. Welcome back to the Floor Chapstick Podcast. Our setup is a little weird this week. We had some technical difficulties, as we normally do. I'm having speech difficulties, as I normally do, so it's just another week here at the Floor Chapstick Podcast. But we do have a special guest on this week. Born in L.A., one of my favorite local comics. You moved to Chicago, when you were 5, you said?
5 or something like that.
So
6,
5 or
4,
something
who
like
knows?
that. Ladies and gentlemen, also, I forgot to mention, the host of the Lobo Den Podcast, Mr. Jhovany Diaz.
Woo!
Hey,
Yay!
that's me. Yeah, Jhovany Diaz. That's me. That's my podcast.
So let's just get it right into it here. You were born in LA and then moved here when you were 5. So what do you know exactly, like, what brought you guys here?
So
Was
my dad came to Chicago first, right? So he came here and started working. So we were like maybe delayed about a year, and then we came after. So he was here, I don't know if it was a year or 6 months, and then we came. So my dad came from LA to come work. He was here. He set something up, and then we came over and followed. That's how I ended up in the Chicagoland area. Never Chicago. Always the suburbs. I've always lived in the suburbs.
At least you admit it. Most people are like, "Oh, I'm from Chicago." Meanwhile, the closest they've ever been is like Aurora.
No, I'm from Waukegan, basically.
Okay,
Born and raised, a little bit of Highwood. I don't know if you guys Highwood,
yep.
just South Highland Park or North Highland Park.
right in between Lake Forest and Highland Park up there?
Yeah, it's up. So Lake Forest. So this is the North Shore. You got Lake Bluff and Lake Forest, and then I think it's Fort Sheridan used to be there. You got Highwood, Highland
Fort
Park.
Sheridan's still there, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Is it
it's
still
like
there?
all the Wilmettes and all that other stuff.
Okay,
But that's
yeah.
and right before Evanston. That's where the North Shore ends. So that's a nice little area, the rich area of the Chicagoland area.
Yeah,
Fancy.
North Shore definitely is. I would say the North Shore has got more wealth to it than the Gold Coast down in the city does.
Yeah, old money. Like Lake Forest has a lot of old money.
Yeah, and it's where a lot of the Bears players live too. So it's more old money, but it's becoming.
Didn't
new
Cody
money.
Whitehair just buy Leonard Floyd's house down that way?
Yeah,
Was that what it was?
Who are those
Yeah.
people?
Cody Whitehair is the center for the Bears. Leonard
Oh.
Floyd is the outside linebacker.
Speaking of the Bears, Brian Urlacher's did you guys see the Brian Urlacher's
Yeah,
brother
his-
just got caught up in like
Casey.
he got caught up in a like $1 million offshore gambling scandal.
It wouldn't surprise me. He gave me my ID once. So Casey Urlacher used to have a club in Chicago, and I went out on New Year's Eve
Okay.
that night, and I remember I ended up leaving my ID there, right? And I left so I had to go back the next day, and he was the owner. The person at the office who gave it to me was Casey Urlacher, and Casey Urlacher went to Lake Forest College that I went to also.
Oh, you went to Lake Forest?
Yeah, I went to Lake Forest College.
My girlfriend goes to Lake Forest.
What is she
Small
studying?
world.
She's an education major and an Asian studies minor.
Asian studies. Is she Asian or just
No, she's Mexican.
learning about Asians?
So growing up, she was like her mom like really pushed her into like learning the Chinese language, and so she like fell in love with the Chinese culture, and she speaks, I wouldn't say fluent, but if she had to live in China, she could.
Okay.
She's been to China like I think 3 times now. She's just super involved.
She hasn't been there recently, right?
No, not since like. No. We don't. Oh, I'll never go to China now. Like Austin, there's a thing on the podcast where we hear it. We have a running bit where we don't really like the Chinese because it started with their whole NBA discussion, and now
Chinese people.
the coronavirus has just made it so much better for us.
And the thing is that we were even told, hey, you should probably cut that out a little bit, but it's so hard sometimes. It's very
It is,
difficult.
yeah. Let's getting back on track here. What exactly is a coyote?
So a coyote brings people over. So my dad was a coyote for a little bit. So my dad used to be a painter, right? And fucked up his eye, so he would paint. So after that, he became a coyote. So what a coyote does is you bring people over the border illegally, right?
Oh,
You're part of the
gotcha.
transportation. So he's more on this side, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I always thought it was about like drug running and stuff like that. Like building
No, people
tunnels and
running.
shit. Like
People running.
Like the Underground Railroad, but today.
Yep. So he was a coyote. So we used to he'd go to Arizona a lot or whatever. Like we had what they'd call pollos, which are illegals in our. I remember they'd be in our basement for a few days. I'm like, some people there, and I was like, who are they? And I kind of, I knew what was going on, but my dad was a coyote for a few years, but now he's back in Mexico.
Interesting.
He got deported though.
Why did he get deported?
Gun charge. So let's see.
Holy
I
shit.
think there's more to it though, right? It was.
Well, was it a gun charge in terms of just possessing one, or
Yeah, so before the concealed carry, you can have in Illinois, you can have a loaded weapon on you, a loaded pistol, right? To transport a pistol, you had to have it in a case or some type of case, and the ammunition had to be separate. You couldn't have it loaded, right?
Oh, okay.
At all. Anyway, so sorry. So then I know he got caught with that, but I think there was more to it because then afterwards I heard something about there was some people he was hanging out with what I'm assuming were drug dealers, and then there was some type of allegedly a tracking device on his car. And my dad worked, so the country club I work at sometimes I work at, I used to caddy, so I used to caddy the country club. My dad was staying in one of the houses where some of the workers were at, some of the maybe assistant pros, and then I guess I got the feds or somebody came in. I don't know if it was feds or if it was local law enforcement came in and raided the whole house.
Wow.
So there was after I found that out, there was more to it obviously than just the gun. But initially the main charge was the possession.
Catalyst.
Yeah, so that was the main. I remember we were fighting the case. That was the possession was the thing we were fighting with the lawyer.
Gotcha. Okay.
How long ago did he get deported?
I think maybe 10 years ago, because I've been at this company around 10 years. I've been working at, I think around 10 years ago, he got deported. So he's been there.
Okay.
He's been there like 10 years. He's got arrested though, like last week in Mexico.
Are you closer with your mom then?
Yeah, I'm not close at all with my dad. Like he'll hit me up every few months for money or something like that, and that's
got a
about
friend
it,
like
dude.
that.
I saw him recently,
about right.
like 2-3 years ago. I went to Mexico to visit, but no, yeah, I'm way closer to my mom. I'm not. Like when my dad started working at the country club, we actually became close again because we're working together when I would caddy there.
Yeah.
And then he got deported. So now, no, I'm not really close to my dad. So
Was his deportation your way into comedy? Because I know everyone's got like a lot of comics have their like I guess you could chalk it up to calling it like a trauma or a life-changing event that kind of pushes them into comedy. Would you say that was yours?
No, hell no. If my dog died and me and my girlfriend broke up is how I got into comedy. So the dog dying. So
My aunt died.
and then you got into comedy?
Yeah, she was I call it murdered, but the police never like officially labeled it as that.
It was like a boyfriend or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend, they got into a fight. Her boyfriend kicked her down the stairs. She was put into a coma, never came out of it, had to pull the plug.
What was the boyfriend? Italian? Puerto Rican?
He was shorter than me, short little white pudgy dude. Fucking.
Was he Italian? Is the
No,
question
he wasn't
still.
Italian.
Wow.
Who was he? Do you know?
I think he was like just Norwegian, like fucking,
Death metal band. Okay.
Yeah. And like when we had to pull the plug on my aunt, he wasn't there. So we all were like, "Oh, this fucking not here. He's the reason." She's like,
Yeah.
"So
Piece of shit.
No, but how I started coming is like I said, my dog died. So I think I started going to, I'm trying to remember. I think I started going to some mics because I wanted to do comedy. Oh, there you go.
no." He said it. He was.
I said, mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to go to mics or do comedy for a while, for like a year or two. I would just email myself like these notes or something, but I never went to a mic. And then for a few months, I was going to some mics. I went to like the Zanies open mic they had in Old Town. I went to the Laugh Factory once, and I went to some stuff in Texas. And I was like, so it was two things. And then the dog died. So the dog got hit by a car. I was actually at my buddy's grandpa's funeral, right? And then I get a phone call. I get a phone call that the dog got hit. So I go over there. We take it to the vet, and then they take air out of his lungs, whatever. But then so then I go home. He's staying at my girlfriend's house at the time. And then she calls me late at night. He's like, hey, the dog, he won't go to sleep. He keeps walking around. So then I head over there. We take him to the vet's clinic. He actually falls as we're going into the clinic, right? Mm-hmm. And then they go in there. They give him, like, they try to give him CPR, but then he's gone, right? Oof. So then, and then they're like, okay, that was $200. And it's like, okay. I brought him over and he fucking died. All right. So then I can
$200 to pay for my dead dog.
I cursed. All right. And so I was like, all right.
Trust us, cursing is not
the
worst you can do.
So then, okay, so the dog.
We welcome it.
All right, so the dog died. So they're like $200. I was like, damn. He's like, for another $100 or something, for another something, $200, we can dispose of him, or you could take him, or we can do this for $500. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't want any of that. I was like, give my dog back. So I told my girlfriend at the time, I was like, look, we're going to Walmart. We're getting some fucking shovels and some ponchos because it was raining. And I was like, well, I'm burying this guy myself. I'm not giving him any more of my money. I was already kind of pissed.
We had a similar kind of thing. My dog was hit by a car too back in 2015. And it's pretty much same thing happened, except for he died pretty much right after because he's a little guy.
Oh, okay. No, this was what was he? I forgot. Oh, he was a mix of a lab with a pit bull.
Okay, so you had a big boy.
dog.
You had a big dog. Yeah, mine was a little miniature pincer. He was a small guy, so we didn't even have that chance of. Yeah.
Oh, it's like running over a football then.
Exactly. His body was literally the size of a football, and his head a baseball. So
like after he got hit, or like
no, that's how he was. Normally. If you ever look at my what's it called? There he is. Yeah, little Fred.
Oh,
like those.
And
whatever.
there's my dog now.
Okay. What is that, Pit?
Yeah, Pit.
Okay.
But we had a very similar thing where it's like, hey, I mean, he's gone. If you want, we can. We ended up getting him cremated, and he's sitting in my parents' bedroom on like a little shelf, a little bag with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I made it. I mean, I took a nap, and then I woke up and I went to her backyard. I started digging and did like at least 4 feet. Like I was out there for a few hours by myself, just digging. It was a good workout. After that, I was like, man, I wish. I started offering digging services to people because it was a good. I was like, it's a good whole body workout.
Yeah.
So
it is.
So
it's like those movers, they charge like $25 an hour, and it's like, holy shit! You actually try it, and you're dead for the next week.
Yeah.
Well, they're not only charging $25 an hour because of like the shit they gotta move, but because you're putting your body through a fucking physical demanding process.
I helped my friend's dad move one time. It was the whole day. We got paid like I think it was like $200 a pop.
That's I mean, if you're helping somebody move, that should be the base amount you should make. Is $200.
And
whether
but then he also
for an
bought
hour
us
or
pizza,
not.
which was pretty cool too. But it was hard because we had to move an entire house's like worth of shit back and forth probably 3 times just to get it over to his new house. And we had to move a mattress up this narrow ass stairway, and it was a queen size mattress. That fucking sucked.
I had to do that I did that for alcohol once. I had to help somebody move the entire house to this little apartment on the north side, like 3 or 4 stories, no elevator. And I just did it for booze on accident, basically. Basically, I was out the night before, and my buddy was like, hey, we're drinking. I was out of money. I was like, I'm cool. And it's like, look, man, don't worry. Drink whatever you want. I got you. Just tomorrow, can you help me? Can you help me move for a little bit? I have to move. Help my help my girlfriend's brother or something move some stuff. And I was like, all right, sure, no problem. And the next day, I realized what the hell. Like, I didn't realize what I got myself in. We had a full moving truck, a whole apartment to a 4th story. Yeah. And in the end of the day, he gave me like an extra, I don't know what it was, 40 or 20 or some extra money. He's like, yeah, I got set up. So, and it was just, and I was hungover like a few times in the apartment. I went to the bathroom to vomit while we're moving stuff. Yeah. So that's, I did that one. But anyways, the dog dies, right? So the dog dies, and I have the dog. I'm like holding the dog, and I have the body. I'm holding it because I'm transporting it. And at that point, nobody like close to me ever died before. So it was the first time me kind of seeing death. And that's when I realized, like, holy shit. Like, you can go. I never seen anybody die, right? And it's the first time me ever seeing it, right? So this is, and I was like, fuck, I can go. So then I was like, I got to do this, you know what I mean? Because I was been bullshitting for like 2 years and not doing stand-up and just kind of writing. And I think within maybe a few weeks, I went to go, I tried to go do my first open mic at Shuba's in the city.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to go. I went with the intention of going. I went to a few to go look at them. Then I finally went to that one. I was in my car, and I drank a little bit of Dewar's White Label, maybe. I drank that. Then I got in, and I didn't realize how like long the list would be. And then I'm kind of looking, and I kind of see where the list is, but I don't sign up. So I kind of know what's going on, but I kind of lie to myself like I don't, pretend I don't see it.
Yeah.
Then I have a few PVRs. Now I'm really buzzed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then I end up, and I was like, and I kind of pussy out, and I leave, right? And I'm kind of mad at myself for leaving. So then I Google a strip club, and I start going to a strip club. But on the way over there, I look at the reviews for the strip club, and it was like, the guys are really hot. And then I was like, fuck, man. Like, I was like, I'm going to a fucking gay strip club. I was like, are you kidding me? So I ended up going to, I think it was called VIPs over there by Weed Street. So I went to that strip club, and then I went there, and I started I gassed myself up like the stripper was into me, and I started telling her I was a comedian. I don't know why I was doing. So I spent money there, and then I went to McDonald's to end the night with like fish fillet and a Big Mac, and
Fish
then a
fillet is a
week,
good
yeah,
choice.
and then a week later, I went to Shuba's, and I did my first mic. My buddy and my cousin that they're dating. They came, but I didn't let them. I didn't let them watch me. I was like, "You can come, but when I go up, you got to go." So, 2 comics before me, I was like, hey, "I'm coming up. You got to go to the other room."
Yeah,
and they
you gotta
went.
scoot it.
And I did my first. I think David Rader. He moved over to New York, but him and Rena Khan was still hosting it, so he was the host there that night. I did my set. Like a few of the jokes kind of hit or something like that, and yeah, that's it. That's ever since then I've been doing comedy. But it was the dog died. And then me and my girlfriend kind of broke up, but it was the dog. The dog that was
The
died.
dog was like
that was a
that
catalyst.
point.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, like I could die. Like
Yeah.
I never thought about it. Like, hey, you don't die.
Yeah, it doesn't process until you see it firsthand.
Yeah.
I had the exact same feeling
When who died?
when my dog died.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
the
yeah.
same
I mean,
exact
did you
thing.
start doing comedy too?
No,
No, he's a-
I've always been a musician.
he's a
and
music producer.
Started doing music.
Yeah, music was for a long time. That was my just listening to music was my getaway. And then I started playing it more and more. I mean, I've been a musician for 10 years. How long? 12 years now. So 2008. But then once that happened, I was like, okay, I really need to start getting into music in one way or another. I'm a music producer now, so I'm not quite a musician, but
Ooh. My bad.
but it was that same kind of thing where it's like that one you realize how short life can be,
Yeah.
because that was same first experience with death. That was my first dog that like I really had a pet, because I had a snake that died and I had another snake that died. We had the same ones for most of my life. One of them just died like 2-3 years ago.
I don't know how much you could love a snake though.
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's-
got pretty
I
close.
mean,
I like if you handle them enough, and because think about it this way: have you ever started kicking a rock down a street, and you're kicking it, and you find it again like under, you thought you lose it, oh yay little buddy, and you start kicking it, and finally you kick it down a drain, you're like, oh, I miss that rock now.
I mean, maybe
It's the
when I
same
was
kind of
like
idea.
8.
Yeah, exactly. But you still the human mind naturally wants to have some sort of like connection with even inanimate objects. So you start to anthropomorphize it as if it had feelings.
Look at you using big words.
Yeah, big words. Big boy using big words. But it's like you start having this where you think, oh, this thing has feelings, even though it's a snake. It's a cold-blooded reptile where it doesn't give a shit about me.
It'll
It's just
kill
like,
you like a cat.
yeah, it's like it's you're my food source. You give me food, I enjoy it. Thank you. That's all I want. I don't care about you
Like,
touching me. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, I just feel any animal that will eat you when you die. I don't like. I don't know. That's why I'm
fair.
not a cat person. I used to like snakes, but
Mm-hmm.
then I realized. I mean, they're a pet, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like
It's not going to be the
I
same
see
thing
the rock.
where you have a
Yeah.
dog. Like a dog is going to go at you and be like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" Meanwhile, the snake is going to be like, "What's up?"
Yeah. You never see videos of like a soldier coming back and the snake coming to meet him or something like
Could you
that.
imagine like a ball python just like rolling around like, "Yeah."
Yeah. Like miss your owner. Yeah. No, he was like, oh look.
I mean, you see that with cats though, and they're that same kind of thing where it's like they don't really give a shit about you, but they do at the same time. So it's the
But
same
they'll
kind
eat
of concept.
you.
They would.
If you
Yeah.
if you die in your apartment, your cat will eat you. Your
That
dog
is
is not
true.
going to eat you. That's where I draw the line. I don't want my pets eating me.
Speaking of snakes and cold-blooded reptiles, I found out the other day through the source that actually got me and my first girlfriend together that she is pregnant,
Wow.
and I'm worried for that child because if she's the same person she was when I was with her, when I was like a freshman, that child is in for a
Hell of a
long,
time.
long,
Who got
rough.
her pregnant? A Puerto Rican.
I don't know. This girl definitely.
Fucks Puerto Ricans.
Let's just say she is a hollaback girl at this point. But yeah, she probably does fuck Puerto Ricans.
That's so sad. That's low if you're fucking Puerto Ricans. I was just talking. Somebody was just giving me shit because I was talking shit about Puerto Ricans yesterday. I don't even know. It's a blur, but I'm pretty sure I was talking shit about Puerto Ricans in the last few days, and somebody called me out on it.
Dude, what I don't get about, all right, like, don't get me wrong, Puerto Ricans are like cool and all that. Like, sometimes
I
they're
disagree.
annoying. But like, I don't get like, what the fuck is up with the socks with sandals thing with them, dude? Like,
You know, I can see where they come.
Ricans are
I mean, I'm
lazy.
partially.
what, what did you say?
Puerto Ricans are lazy. I mean, but Luis Arevalo does wear. He's Mexican. He does wear the socks with the sandals. That's
Socks
kind of
with
his
sandals
thing.
can be kind of comfy. I don't. Okay, are we talking
Now,
about
if you have,
sandals
like,
with the like toe?
Yes,
like
that's-
where it splits the toe.
That's a sandal.
Well, because I was thinking
I'm
slides.
talking like
Yeah,
the
that's
Nike
a-
like
slides.
slides.
When I
Those
think
are comfortable
sandals-
with socks.
Yeah, you can wear socks with those. Those are. I mean, only wear those with socks because of the little.
But
things.
anything like sandals, Birkenstocks, where it has the split down the
Yeah.
big toe and the rest of the foot,
Like
that's
flip-flops
weird.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, those aren't okay with
I don't
socks.
like wearing sandals like that. Socks with that.
Yeah, you should be killed. I just agree. Okay.
But I will say one of the most comfortable things is on a cold day. You go into the rink. You're in all your sweaty gear. You take that off. Put on some like straight up like Nike, the white long socks, the
Yeah.
tube socks, and put on some slides on that, so you're comfortable where you're not having shoes on after you just had skates for an hour and a half, but you have the warmth of a nice tube sock. That's pretty nice, I will say.
Man,
It's
you
very
and your
good.
warm tube socks.
Yeah,
You love your tube socks.
especially if it's a pink sock. Woo.
Oh my god.
Why the pink sock?
Do you not know what a pink sock is?
It's a vagina joke.
Oh,
No, it's
I
not.
No, it's not. Well, I don't.
Anus. If you pull out and there's not enough lube,
Oh, a prolapse is
yeah,
the anus.
prolapse. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Don't prolapse your anus.
I've shown it to.
Can that be on a shirt?
It
don't
already is.
prolapse your
Dr.
anus.
Drew owns that.
Ah, that
I got-
sucks.
I got a video of a guy fisting two dudes, and then he pulls out their anus or prolapses them. And then I used to tell people that he tied them up, but looking at the video, like he just kind of just touches them. I showed it to Wolf Larson. I showed it to him, and it fucking grossed him out.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you guys ever seen Wolf, but Wolf is very aggressive on stage. But I
Yeah,
showed,
he is.
It's all talk because he couldn't handle that video.
My first experience with anal fisting was I was 11 years old, and it was my first experience into porn. My friends.
Oh, I thought you meant personal
no,
experience.
My uncle.
no. I've never been anal fisted or anal fisted
Yet.
somebody else. Yet.
Yet.
I don't.
You gotta have the ellipses.
I'm not gonna say I won't ever because like
I'll say it.
New
unless it's-
experiences.
$20 is $20, bro. Like if I can buy me some fucking Taco Bell and
That's 4 straight weeks with the Taco Bell.
I'm trying to think of what else I can buy with the leftover money at Taco
$20?
Bell.
You have,
Taco
you have a
Bell.
lot
What
of
else
things
would I
you
would
could buy
buy?
with $20. Socks, preferably not pink. Dude, getting a nice
I got
pair
a
of socks is
$50
different.
bill. Fist him right now on stage. Fist him on video. I got $50.
Maybe.
I know
What
somebody
do
who bought. I know somebody who bought their engagement ring for $20.
I mean, they say your yearly or like 2 months of your wage. So I
Yeah.
mean, if he's really down in the dumps, that's fair.
Granted, it was like
Was it a ring pop?
no, it was an actual ring. Like he got it from. All right, so I think he got it from the guy. Like the guy gave it to him because the guy was a crackhead and was just trying to go get some crack.
Fair enough.
But like, it's a really nice ring. They've been together for like, on and off now for like
On and off.
3 years.
Are they still together? Did they get married? Is
Yeah, the
engagement
last. I think they got married.
I just want to imagine like how she found out that he got the ring from a crackhead.
Well,
I wanna know what that
I think it's from a
conversation was.
crackhead.
Oh,
She found out that it was only a $20 ring, like I don't know, 4 months after he proposed.
okay.
So she was pretty pissed about that. They broke off the engagement, and then they got
Over the
engaged
ring?
again. Yeah, then they got engaged again for like a month, and then they broke up again. And then he was gonna go. He tried to hit up the guy to return the ring to the guy, and then the guy like obviously had him blocked and shit like that. And that's at the point where I was like, yeah, that guy sold you that ring for some crack.
Mm-hmm.
Who returns a $20
blocked.
ring?
Yeah, I know. Speaking of being blocked, do you want me to tell the story now, or do you want to save that for another time?
Oh, well, good.
With what
We'll,
happened?
go-
Okay,
we'll
you
do
wanna
that
save
on Wednesday.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll do that
save
on Wednesday. You were engaged once, weren't you?
Was it just once? Yes, I was engaged. Well,
He said it's just once.
because I have a bit about how I've returned 2 rings to Jared, but I've only
Okay.
been engaged once, right? So what happened with that is, so me and my, I was in my early 20s. There was this girl I was dating. We were dating. I don't know if we lived together at this point or afterwards, but basically, we broke up, right? She broke up with me, and I was like, fuck. And so one of the reasons I thought she broke up with me is like, okay, maybe she thought I didn't take things seriously or I wasn't ready to commit because I really wasn't. But then after she broke up with me, I was like, oh, I don't want to lose this chick. And I was like, and I got desperate. I was like, what do? I was like, I know, I'll I'll go to Jared and I'll buy a ring. So after she broke up with me, I went to Jared in Old Orchard, bought a ring, proposed to her like in my car. It wasn't even on my. It was like in my car, her car, I think, that I was borrowing and driving.
That's how my dad proposed to my mom. It was in the car.
In the
it wasn't
car?
like a formal
Yeah.
like get everybody together and everything. He's just like, hey, you want to get married? He didn't even have the ring. They were on vacation or something like that. I think.
Oh, they were.
Well, yeah, because they were together for 13 years before
Oh,
they got
okay.
married.
They
And
were
they
just-
had me by that point. So.
There's so much pressure like that society puts on people like to hype up your engagements and make it such a big thing.
Well, the
Puts
fact
on
that they say
chicks.
2 months of your earnings, like your yearly earnings, needs to go towards the ring alone.
Yeah, like what the
I thought it was
fuck?
3 months salary.
Either way,
That's what I heard.
it's still
3.
a lot. Okay, either way, if you look at me, I make fucking $1,300
Yeah,
a
but you're
month
not
when I'm
getting
working
married
normal hours.
anytime soon,
But
Austin.
I know I'm not, but I'm just saying. So you're telling me that a girl's gonna be happy with a $3,600 ring when it's like they're expecting a $20,000 ring? That's I know
you'll
that not
pay
all
you'll
of them are
pay
expecting that.
$3,600 just for the band.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is that, of course an engagement or no, the wedding ring should only be the band, right? The engagement's the one with the diamond.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Which diamonds aren't even. I don't understand diamonds. They're just they you can literally
only-
make them in laboratories and they're no different from the
No,
natural
I
shit.
would only want blood diamonds, to be honest with you. I wouldn't want anything else unless I want to know some kid's hand was lost if I'm gonna fucking wear a diamond.
Dude,
I want it to be
I'm
worth
all
it.
for that idea. That
I don't
this,
want- I
some
love
kid
it.
lost his hand for you to have this on your hand. Like,
Yeah.
cherish that shit.
I mean, I guess.
That's some boss shit.
Oh,
That is some boss shit.
speaking of money that I don't feel like is necessary to spend, I just spent $300 on or over $300 on autographs that I didn't expect to win. It was a silent auction. I went to dinner like 2 days ago at Red Lobster and they had a bunch of signed pictures. I like Red Lobster.
I don't go to Red Lobster because you can.
Because you're a racist. No.
Well, you can buy the mix for the cheddar biscuits like at Jewel. So like, what's the point of going to Red Lobster?
Well, my buddies and I were just looking for something to eat, and we're like, we'll go get the appetizers and split the bill. Just get a couple appetizers
Yeah.
and relax for 2 hours. But they had a silent auction. There was a signed Michael Jordan, like framed picture or whatever, and then there was one that was a combination Jonathan Taze and Patrick Kane. Well, of course I'm gonna go for him if I can. Like there was literally one bid that was the starting bid was written down on all of them by a couple different people. I write down like 175 and 185 for the Kane, the Hawks, and then Michael Jordan respectively. I get a text and a call today saying, "Hey, you won." So I just I wasn't expecting to actually win. I thought they were gonna go way up, really quickly
Yeah.
because it was for Lurie's Children's Hospital.
Ah,
So it's like the money's going to the Children's Hospital.
damn,
so
these
it's
people
not
don't give a
bad.
fuck about the kids.
Yeah, right. So now they're like, "Hey, give us your shipping info. We'll send them out to you." Like shit. Now I'm over $300 in the hole.
I was at a silent auction in like 8th grade for my buddy's family's like work event. I remember there was these 2 big ass baskets full of candy that they had, and me and my buddy both bid on them, and it ended up only being like we paid like $85 for the both of them, and it was like I don't know, I want to say like 8 or 9 months worth of candy for like just like one person.
Wow.
So the next day we get to school and we realize, fuck, we can make some money off this. So we take my locker, empty it out, put all my shit in his locker, and make my locker the candy locker. We set up a fucking lockbox in there, and when you want to buy some candy. You texted one of us. One of us would go, ask to go to the bathroom. We'd go out to the locker. We'd meet you at the locker. We'd show you. We'd pull out the menu out of our pockets that was like handwritten on a piece of paper. You place your order. We open the locker. They give you the money. They pick their candy. You put the money in the lockbox. And we had like, I don't know.
The whole
We were
system.
like. We had that was it was like 7th grade, not 8th grade. So we made it through the entire 7th grade year doing that, and then about halfway through the 8th grade year, we got fucking caught. They took 90% of our earnings from the lockbox, and then with the last 10%, we went to Walgreens and restocked with the 10% we had left and the 10% we had from our 5-finger discounts. So we came to school the next day with a restocked locker, and they gave us tickets for like solicitation and stuff like that because
Solicitation of candy.
it was apparently illegal to sell candy out of
What's
your
your
locker.
candy of choice? If you had to choose a candy.
Ooh, that's hard.
Because I'm not a huge candy person. Like, I don't like a lot of sweets, but There's some good candy out there.
It
There's
really
some good
depends
stuff.
on what I'm doing. Like if I'm sitting out like playing Xbox, peanut M&Ms all day.
Yeah, that's a real good one.
Or if I'm go ahead.
Yeah.
So chocolate. I'm gonna separate chocolate and non-chocolate candies. So the chocolate, I think either Reese's peanut butter cups, or like a Snickers, depending on a mood, or some type of Snicker. And then I'm not, like I said, I don't really have a sweet tooth. So on the non side, I don't know why, but I always have an itch for like gummy worms. I'm a gummy worm person.
Worms are so good.
And I do like candy corn, and I do like pineapple on my pizza. Like,
Candy
I don't
corn's
care about
fucking
that.
good, dude. I
We
would
had
eat
this
that shit.
conversation on Halloween.
I'd eat that shit year round, man.
I can't do candy corn.
Except
That's one
for
thing
like
I can't do.
the ones just like
I'm so
original
hungry.
candy corn, not caramel candy
I
corn.
haven't eaten like in 20 hours.
I could probably deal with the caramel candy corn.
I can't do the caramel candy corn.
I
Regular
just like-
candy
I like
corn.
those caramel candies. I have old man tasting. I like Mexican candies, but I like that caramel candy that has little white
Yes,
jewels in
the
them.
little
I love,
cream in the. Oh,
I eat
the
that whole
bullseye.
thing.
So good. Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, those are good.
I like these.
I like circus peanuts too. You guys ever had
I don't
those?
like those. It tastes like styrofoam.
Yeah, that's why it's so good. It's like it's like all my favorite treats as a kid: styrofoam and Play-Doh put together.
There's residue. There's that peanut residue, and it goes in the air. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't. I have some. I have some at work, but I don't. I only have them there like as the last. And they've been there for like months, and they have
Yeah,
been.
those
eaten.
things will never go bad.
It's
though.
like-
They might go a little stale, but it's not much different.
It's like if the place doesn't have fucking cotton candy and you want cotton candy and you're like, fuck, circus peanuts. Fuck it, whatever. It's like circus peanuts is like cotton candy's retarded little brother.
If I eat it somewhere where I don't have to worry about all the dirt and residue, like maybe at a circus, but otherwise I feel if you're not like at a ball game or circus or somewhere, one of them restaurants where you can throw the peanuts on the ground.
Well, we're talking
Right.
about the candy peanuts.
I don't know what you're talking about then.
Duh.
What the
Oh,
hell
I've
is
never
that?
Oh, you
You've
don't
never
know what
seen
circus
them?
peanuts are?
I just thought we were talking about.
Oh no
peanuts.
no! We're talking circus peanuts is a candy. It's like a styrofoamy, spongy, weird thing. It's in the shape of a peanut. It's orange, and it's just
Oh, that like soft.
Yeah,
you can
it's
get them
like-
at the
Yeah.
dollar store.
Yeah,
know that.
yeah. I do like orange slices.
Those are good.
I
Or
do.
cherry bombs.
I don't know
Those
what
are
that
These
is.
things.
Yeah,
they're
I don't
like-
think I've ever had one.
They're marshmallow.
I might have had one in my life.
They're
But I don't
so
think-
they're so gross. He likes them. I don't know why.
You know what I fucking hate is Peeps.
Yeah,
I fucking
overrated,
hate Peeps,
garbage.
dude.
What do you mean overrated? Who the
People
hell likes
love
Peeps? Who?
Oh,
My
there are a lot
girlfriend
of
loves
people who,
Peeps,
there are
dude.
a lot of people who love
I do.
Peeps.
Oh, this time of the. Oh, you know what I forgot? This time of the season is where I do the
Cadbury cream
Cadbury egg.
eggs?
Yeah, yeah.
I've never
Or
had
the
a
Reese's
Cadbury
one.
egg.
You've never had a Cadbury
No.
cream egg? Oh, you're missing out. Throw one in the freezer
Are they
for a
kosher?
couple hours.
You know what? Also, you guys ever had those Queen Victoria cherries?
I don't know what that is.
Yes.
They come in like they
Yes.
come in like a little box, and they're like you slide them out, and they're in these little like tubs, and you fucking they're like chocolate covered cherries with like cherry juice on the inside, and they're fucking like 3 or 4 in. You're like, oh, these are so gross, but like every once in a while, it's
Oh, and
primo.
it's just right. Yeah. Problem is, you can like you said, you can super overdo them.
What's the largest amount of money you spent on
Mine
something?
is Swedish fish, by the way, guys.
Oh, Swedish fish.
They get stuck to my teeth.
That's
Oh, I
smacks.
love them. What was
Largest amount of money, most amount of money you've spent on something like that you thought would be like at the time you're like fuck yeah, but now like looking back on it you're like fuck why did I spend all that money?
There's a lot of things I could say.
The number one thing that sticks out to you.
Actually, you guys, I have a couple things I gotta go
Mine is
through.
just booze. It's
enough.
booze. It's me being out at a bar trying to impress girls and getting a bottle or getting. It's booze. It's booze. 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 Booze.
Fair enough.
Like I come back and it's like I've spent 200, 300. Recent July 4,000. But
4,000.
well,
Whoa, what
four-
happened there?
4,000 was a mixture of cash app to the strippers, paying for the whole, keep paying for the whole, because I only got a 3-hour hotel room, but we just kept paying because we were there till like 5:30.
Oh, this is the Miami story.
Yeah. Cocaine deliveries. So it was like 2 or 3 cocaine deliveries. So those were 200 or whatever something each for whatever when we got the balls, and then miscellaneous. It ended up to about 4,000. Yeah, but that was just an exaggeration of me in those like, oh, I'm with chicks or something, and then I go off the rails with drinking. But like,
Yeah.
And a few months before that, the year before that fall, my buddy opened up a bar by me, and I was going out. There was these young chicks, and I would just go out and just spend. Like I remember I'd buy shots. I'd be talking to one girl, but then I'd see somebody else across the bar, and I'd send her shots. I was like, I was being ridiculous, dude. It was out of control. And then I was just ugh. I maxed out my credit card at one point, but I'm back. But yeah, booze. To me, it's booze.
For me, it would have to be food.
Food's a good one.
Because let's see, I think it was about 6 weeks ago, I got really fucking stoned, and I don't know. I think I get hungrier than the average person when I get stoned. So I went to McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Chipotle, Taco Bell, Stan's Donuts, and Naf Naf, all in a span of an hour.
Jesus.
And the total,
What is that, like $87? What'd you spend there?
I spent a total of $347 in
The
food.
fuck?
Yeah. And I probably ate about $30 worth of it.
Oh my god.
I kind of do that because I like variety, so I'll get some of this, some of that, and not eat all of it. But yeah, that's
impressive.
ridiculous. So wait, what was the place again? Naf Naf.
It was Naf Naf, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, Chipotle, Stan's Donuts, McDonald's. I think that's it, yeah. And like a lot of
What
the
were you
places,
going through that day? What was going on in your head?
Yeah,
Were you
right?
like,
Dude,
did
a
you
lot
get
of the
broken
places-
up with, or what?
not yet.
Did somebody die?
A lot of the
What were
places
you coping
like,
with?
a lot of the places I was like in line, and I was in the drive-through line, and I realized like, fuck, I don't want to get anything. But like my anxiety's like, you're next in line, you got to get something. So I would be like looking at it and be like, let me get a number 6, a number 7, and then I would go to the next place, and then I'd be like, number 4 or 3.
Just give me one of everything.
The most amount of money I've spent at one fast food place was over the summer. I went to Burger King, and this was when they first introduced the $1.50 nuggets, and they were the nuggets were $1 at the time.
Yeah.
And they were good when they first came out, not like soggy and wet and moldy like they are now. We
Moldy cardboard.
yeah, we got fucking 50 nuggets, or it was either I dropped $50 on nuggets, or either we got 50 nuggets. Yeah, I spent $5 on 50 nuggets, and I ate.
That can't be good for you. Those nuggets.
No, I shit for 4 days after that. Like,
So I have something similar to that. They had.
of
you
course,
know how-
you have a food story.
Fuck off. I actually don't buy a lot of food at one time. I buy it a lot over a long period of time. But the most I've ever done in terms of quantity of food, not how much I spent, because I spent practically nothing compared to how much I got. You know how Sonic does the 50-cent corn dogs every once in a while?
Never had Sonic.
But you
Refuse to.
have you ever seen the
refuse to. Why do you refuse to?
Sonic is trash. It
Yeah.
really is.
Oh, okay.
But they have 50-cent corn dogs twice, 3 times a year. And their corn dogs are average at best. And they're worth the 50 cents. So I have my friend come with me, and I'm like, you dare me to get 30 corn dogs?
Oh my god!
And he's like, no, I don't. I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm like, guys, do you have a limit on your corn dogs? He's like, no, we don't have a limit. So my eyes light up, and my buddy's like, no, don't you fucking do it. So I'm like, can I get 30? And he's like, yeah. So we're just like, okay, cool. Sat there for like probably 20 minutes.
Yeah,
All
I
of
was
them are
gonna
brand new,
say.
fresh. And it was only, $16 or whatever it was after taxes. So we had 30 corn dogs split between me, myself, my buddy, and then his brother had like 2 or 3. So it's like I still had corn dogs for like 3 days.
Let me get one.
So your imaginary friend has a brother?
Well, you suck my ass or what? But
No.
that's the only food thing that I've had. And in terms of bought something and then regretted it, not necessarily mine, but my dad's that ended up it's gonna be mine is the truck. That one.
The
That one's a
Escalade
bit-
or the white truck?
No. The
cars?
The
I forgot about
Expedition.
Oh,
I got
the
some of
Expedition.
Eddie Bauer.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, there's some stuff that I bought was like, should I have spent that? And then was back to being fine afterwards. Like I bought a hockey stick it's $350 new.
Yeah.
I got it for $150. So I'm like, why did I spend $150 on this stick? I don't need it. And now I've used it for the past 6 to 8 months, and I haven't found a stick. I haven't found the same model stick at all, let alone for that cheap. For the hand that I play, because I play full right for goalies, which means the opposite of what every other goalie does. I have the trapper on my right hand versus the left hand. So that means everything that I need is fucking impossible to find for cheap, if at all.
Yeah, I'm left-handed, so I gotta have a glove on my right hand when I play baseball, and it's damn near
It's hard.
impossible to find a glove for lefties
It took me
now.
10 years to find a catcher's mitt that I liked.
When I played baseball, the reason I had to play outfield was because the only glove I could find that was for lefties at the time was a fucking catcher's mitt. And being a lefty catcher, dude,
It's not a thing.
Fucking hard.
It's not a thing.
They tried,
really.
they tried my first year of playing baseball. They put me, someone who's left-handed, at third base, and then they put me at shortstop. And I was like,
Shortstop is terrible.
I was like, you either kick me off the team or put me somewhere else because I'm not making crossbody throws every time I need to throw the fucking ball.
Yeah, no, being a left-handed shortstop is because I've always played first baseman and catcher, mainly because I went to first base mainly because I couldn't play catcher as a lefty.
Dude, being a left-handed shortstop is like being a black guy in the NHL. It just doesn't.
It doesn't happen. At least not very often.
Yeah.
So I know exactly that feeling.
Is PK Subban from?
He's
America?
Canadian.
He's Canadian. Okay, yeah. So
there's Dustin Byfuglien, who is American.
he's Canadian. Dustin Byfuglien is definitely Canadian, and so was Ray Emery,
I'm not
who's
talking
dead
about
now.
Ray Emery. Joel Ward, I know, is American. Wayne Simmons, I want to say, is possibly he might be Canadian.
Is that the gay guy with the shorts and the fuzzy hair? Wayne Simmons, right?
No, that's Gene Simmons.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Oh, the guy
Whatever
from
happened
Kiss,
to him?
right?
Is he still alive?
I would assume so.
Oh, you know who I found out who was alive the other day that I thought was dead like years ago? Dick Van Dyke.
I thought he was dead.
So did I. But then everyone's like, no,
kill him.
that's Dick Clark who's dead.
Let's see. Dustin Byfuglien, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh,
American.
whatever.
Cuck.
Okay, so 4?
There's only I know, that's why I said there's literally only
Yeah.
like 4. I mean, in the history, maybe 10, 12 that
Yeah.
have been noteworthy, but currently there's only a couple. Malcolm Subban, no, because he's PK's brother. I think they're both Canadian. Fuck off. But yeah, so black people don't play hockey.
And that's not like a racist thing to say.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
One was
Black
I've
people
seen-
shouldn't play hockey, is what you're saying. We should
like,
stop
honestly,
them from playing
They are
hockey.
naturally better athletes, so if they could learn how to ice skate, I bet they would dominate the NHL.
It's like a white guy playing basketball. You just don't see
Yeah.
it.
Unless you got, the White Mamba. Not Scalabrini, but the other White Mamba, the new one.
Diana Taurasi.
What the fuck did you just say to me?
Yeah, that's her name.
No. I'm talking about
Her?
I'm saying
They
LA.
were talking about
the Lakers
professional
right now.
sports. Is that
Oh,
a chick?
Caruso?
Yeah.
He's not
Alex
the White
Caruso.
Mamba.
I've
The
seen-
White
I've-
Mamba is...
It's Brian Scalabrine.
Well,
but a lot of people call him the White Mamba now, and I think that's stupid, but that's the easiest way to go about it at this point.
The White Mamba I know
Bald
of...
Mamba is what they call him, too.
Yeah, the White Mamba I know of is Diana Taurasi, the all-time leading scorer in WNBA history, who also was
I'm gonna tune
coined.
out while you guys talk about this.
She was given the name White Mamba by Kobe himself. So
Yeah, he's dead. Who cares?
all right. It's still fresh.
Let's talk about. Wasn't he on TV or is his wife on TV today?
Yeah, they had that public memorial. I
Michael
watched
Jordan's
it.
the new crying meme again.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing, and there was like 4 or 5 times. Dude, it was a roller coaster of emotions. You're crying, you're laughing, mainly a lot of crying.
Yeah.
But when Shaq started talking, and then MJ was talking as well, like all you could do was laugh because Shaq told a story about how like some of the Lakers teammates came up to him and told him, "Oh, Kobe's not passing the ball." So Shaq went up to him and was like, "Kobe, there's no I in team." And Kobe looks at him and goes, "Yeah, but there is Emmy in that motherfucker."
Like, guys, just get the rebound. He's not passing.
Yeah.
That sounds like such a Kobe thing to say too.
Last thing I wanted to touch on, because I know this is gonna be a short episode this week, but I have things I gotta tend to.
Okay.
The Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight,
Yes.
which was second time around.
Number 2, yeah. I
That
saw both of them.
I didn't see the first one.
I did.
I watched the bootleg edition of the second one. And dude, Tyson Fury just looks like a fucking monster in there, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think he lost a round. I think he had 10 points all 7 rounds.
Yeah.
He didn't lose a round. In my opinion, when I saw the first fight, he won the first fight. Look, Tyson Fury is a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. The thing with Deontay Wilder is he has that touch where he touches you, he's gonna put you out.
Yeah, Deontay's got huge knockout power.
And Deontay hasn't been fighting that long. If you look at it as his professional career, like he didn't get into it. That it's not like he was fighting his whole life, as a teenager. He got into it late in the game, but since he has that touch, you know what I mean, he was able to really excel, you know what I mean, and go up. So, and And Tyson came at him at this fight, and he came at him and was able to avoid, and he had the right strategy for him. So he's not used to, backing up in this fight. So
Yeah, Deontay can't fight if he's backing up. And
I don't follow this, so I'm kind of.
no idea. So we watched it. We paid for it though. I refuse to watch anything free or streams. No. I'll go to a bar or something. But I feel like when I went to back in the day, we went to go see. We went to my buddy. We were gonna pay the pay-per-view to go see Daniel Cormier versus John Jones 2.
I was just about to say that's the only one that I've ever gone to like a bar to watch.
Yeah. Well, me and my buddy usually pay, but our buddy, he's like, dude, don't worry. I got the Fire Stick. I got these streams. It'll be good, dude. I've been watching them. I was like, all right. So, and I'm coming back from a show in Wisconsin, so I just get there to the fight. I got to my buddy's house. They're watching it. And then right before the knockout, it fucking freezes. And he's looking for another stream. You're looking for another stream. And then we find a stream. The fight's over. They're already, John Jones is like, Daniel Cormier is like apologizing. Daniel, congratulating. Yeah. And then I'm like, never again, dude. So that's I'll go to a bar. I'll never watch a live stream again. I'll go to a bar or I'll go whatever but no, I can't. He was trying to convince us too, but I was like, we're
what's your
split.
whole view
dude.
on that Cormier versus John Jones? Do you think Cormier ever was rightfully a winner?
No, God, no.
He was
Fuck
never
no.
even close, Because I had this argument with somebody saying, "Oh, Cormier, he absolutely was a champion." No, he couldn't beat John Jones. He couldn't. He never did. Never was close.
See, the thing is, with that, when they fought, those are John's only experiences in the heavyweight division. DC is way better of a wrestler. Daniel Cormier is the best wrestler that the UFC has ever seen. He's he's all-time, Olympic medalist. He coaches wrestling at a high school. Like, he's one of the best wrestlers and takedown artists in the UFC. But John's stand-up power and punches and kicks are just no match for DC. And
Dude, John took DC down. Nobody was able to take DC down. John took him down in the first fight.
Yeah.
I am fully adamant on that. The fact that John Jones yes, he's got a no contest and a decision because of his doping stuff like that. But I am fully confident.
Was it both dope or wasn't one weed? Am I wrong on that?
Cocaine.
Yeah, one of them was.
Coke.
I think one of them was cocaine. The
No,
other
Allegedly
Coke isn't. They wanted to call it because he tested dirty for Coke, but it's not. That wasn't a banned substance at the time.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
On one of them, because he had multiple.
Yeah.
Well, it happened after the fact, but the first time they didn't cancel the fight because they wanted to cancel the fight. They wanted to call
They
it
didn't.
off.
They moved it to California.
Yeah, his most recent one was his most recent suspension was because of a tainted supplement.
Well, yeah, the recent. I'm talking about like before, like
Yeah.
when
The
the whole
first one-
Cormier was at its peak.
Yeah, the first one, Vegas in Nevada was. They're like, no, we're not going with it. So California would. So they moved everything. All the fighters got pissed because they had flights and they had things booked, and they moved everything there. I think Anaheim or somewhere in California.
Somewhere.
Well, the California Athletic Commission is also fucking terrible because they allowed the reason that a lot of the UFC fighters don't like fighting in California is because the California Athletic Commission, they were aware of the fact that TJ Dillashaw was doping at taking performance enhancing substances at the time of his last fight with Cody Garbrandt, and Dillashaw won that fight via knockout. And a lot of fighters and everyone were like, well, he technically should have been disqualified. That should have been ruled a no contest afterwards because of the fact that the CAC knew he was doping and they didn't do anything about it, and they just swept it under the rug because they wanted the fight to continue.
Yeah.
And so people feel like Cody Garbrandt got cheated out of a good fight. Cody really hasn't done that well since. He's lost his last 3. TJ's, suspended.
He went to Jackson's, I
indefinitely.
think, right, Cody, or somewhere. I think he just went to Jackson's or somewhere. Or Jackson's, or if he didn't go, no, he didn't go to Jackson's. I'm thinking of Pico.
No, he went to Jackson's.
Cody.
Yeah, he's with Jackson
Okay, so
now.
he's at
Yeah.
Jackson's, yeah, and Pico, whatever, from Bellator. I think he went to Jackson's too. Kind of calm him down a little bit. Kind of wild fighters.
Yeah, but Jackson's is fuck, I forgot who he just had recently. He's got a champion fighter under his camp too. But my favorite gym that produces a lot of fighters, they're not so well now, but Rufus Sports. They're based out of Milwaukee, and he's the coach for the Pettis brothers, who I think it was either Anthony or Sergio was one of the longest running light heavyweight champions of all time. I forgot what I was getting to.
Not Sergio. Sergio never won a belt. I don't
Yeah,
think.
then it was Anthony.
He's in
then.
Bellator now.
Oh, is he really?
Sergio, the little one, wherever
Yeah.
the little one. Yeah, he's in. I think he's in Bellator.
But back to Deontay and Tyson. Deontay, like they had in their contract, they had a clause for like they could pull up a third fight because originally it was for 2, and then if they found a reasonable excuse, they could come up with a third. And today, Deontay exercised that clause, so they're gonna have a Tyson Wilder Fury 3. I'd say towards the end of the summer. But the reason he said that he fucking lost
Crap.
and like the reason he said he wasn't, he didn't fight so well was because the 45-pound costume that he wore to the ring made his legs weak. But at the same time, I
See,
don't think
that's just the brain damage because eating and talking right there. That's the
Yeah.
concussion talking right there.
Dude, he got hit in the. I think it was because he got hit in the back of the. He got hit in the back of the head, which knocked him off his equilibrium off a
Hit
little
in the
bit,
ear.
and he got fucking knocked out. And, his ear was bleeding and shit too. So
He got
I
his
just
ass
don't think
kicked.
I don't think he wants to admit he got outmatched.
Yeah, no. I mean, what
He's
fighter
not a
ever
good
wants
boxer.
to admit it?
Deontay Wilder is not a good boxer. He doesn't have good boxing. The last fight, whatever, with Victor Ortiz, he just sat back and waited for
Yeah.
Victor to fuck up and then knocked him out. He doesn't have those skills. And a part of the reason he probably doesn't have those skills is he didn't need them because he had this knockout power. Like, you know, so like, what does it say? Like, I don't know, dudes with smaller dicks or something do more work or something like
Yeah.
that. It's something like that.
Dudes with
it's a
bigger
bad-
dicks do more work,
No, I
they
think
get-
it's the opposite.
or it's like
Well,
dudes
whatever.
with smaller dicks do more work. I don't know.
Let's
Something,
find
yeah.
out right now.
But
Dudes with smaller dicks got the big old trucks.
I think the main reason Deontay wants that third fight is because he knows if he didn't take it, he would never fight again.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's
Like he
comfortable
wouldn't
with
fight
money.
Fury. He wouldn't fight. I want I want to see. So now they're not going to have the Joshua versus Fury.
No, that's gonna be at the end of the year,
Ugh. All right.
and Fury's gonna beat the shit out of Joshua.
I want to see that one. I want to see that. That's what I'd like to see. And they're both British, sort of.
Yeah,
Bridget.
Joshua reminds me so much of like when I look at him, all I can think of is fucking Apollo Creed from the Rocky movies, like just that overhyped superstar. And then when what's his name?
The
Fuck.
Mexican dude,
Yeah, when he beat him the first time,
Pablo. I don't remember. I don't know. His name.
I don't remember.
I follow him on fucking Instagram. I feel shitty for not knowing.
Like
him.
Anthony is like something Ruiz Jr.
Yeah. Maybe Anthony Ruiz Jr. or something. Yeah,
Sounds right.
yeah.
I
I
Something
feel
like
shitty.
that.
The
But
first
dude,
Mexican champ. I don't even know
When
his
he
name.
beat the shit out of him in their first fight, and I definitely think he won that second fight. But the 3 knockdowns in like the 7th round was what eventually caused him to lose it.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of these fights? Or are you just agreeing?
No, I watched.
Okay.
I watched most of them. I don't. Thing is, I don't have a lot of input to say. I just watch them. I don't follow it a lot.
Okay,
So,
okay. I'm
yeah,
more of a
no.
UFC person, but I got into boxing because of UFC.
Yeah, same. I
Yeah,
just
no,
got
I'm
into
mostly
boxing.
a UFC guy, but
Yeah.
I'm going to UFC
I like how you
248.
called me out. Like,
Yeah.
are you really following?
I think it's UFC 248. I'm going to. That's
went
the
to
one
the-
in Vegas.
I want to
the
go to
next one.
UFC on acid, I think.
I just want to be on acid.
Yeah, I'm going to
I think
UFC
that'd be fun.
248
Have you
in
done
Vegas.
acid?
Nope.
It just seems it's so my schedule. It's hard to schedule it out, but I think, or at least maybe mushrooms, because I think I can. It's less time, maybe
Yeah,
half the time.
shrooms is
I've
3
never
to 4
done
hours.
mushrooms.
Shrooms is 3 to 4 hours, and it's the best way to describe it is LSD. It's for one, it's way longer and it's more introspective, versus shrooms is a lot more fun and lighthearted.
I'll never do acid again because the last time I did acid, I got research chemmed and I was up for 26 hours straight tripping.
Yeah,
26
see,
hours
the
straight.
You got
research
what?
chem, I would.
What's research
I would
chem?
have to test it. Like, I would never take acid without testing it. When you get like street peddlers pushing acid, they'll cut it with like research chemicals, so you can get like it's called like dragonfly and
Yeah.
a couple other things. It's literally just chemicals that go into your system and fuck you up beyond repair. In some
It like
cases.
amplifies.
It can literally
it
kill
ampli-
you.
Yeah, it amplifies the effect of the LSD to the point where you feel like it's like one tab instead of like you're taking. If you take one tab and it's actually research chem. It's like one tab is equal to like
instead
4.
of being like, say you go to take a threshold dose, which is like 75 to 90 micrograms of LSD.
Look, this guy knows a lot about
For
more
never
than
doing LSD,
dude.
why do you know so
I've
much?
done my research because I want to do it.
What do you arrow it or what? Where do you do your research?
I go all over
Okay.
whatever I can find.
Arrowwood's the best fucking website to.
I don't know if I've actually, because I know you told me about that
Arrowwood?
before. I don't know. Like, I know I've been on 1,000 different websites looking at this shit. But if you do, if it's research chemicals, instead of being 75 to 90 for a threshold dose, if you take what you think is going to be that, it'll amplify it by like 5. Of course, it can be that can be an exaggeration, or it could be worse. It could be less, whatever. It depends on what it's cut with. So that's why you can actually buy testing kits on like Amazon, completely legally. Like it's not illegal to buy the testing kit. It's illegal to buy the LSD.
Oh, okay. That because you can get the little Coke snifters or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you can go get a water pipe.
You can buy
I'm not doing
rosin
it for weed.
You can buy presses to make rosin on Walmart's website.
What's rosin?
Dabs,
Oh, glass or whatever.
like
Dabs?
shatter. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can buy
shatter,
the fucking
bro.
press for that on the Walmart website.
Yeah.
And it
It's
says
not illegal.
rosin press.
It's not illegal to own the paraphernalia. It's illegal to own the actual drug.
Well, a while ago, it technically was illegal to own a
can
paraphernalia.
bust
Depending on
you
the state,
for
right?
it,
When they
but they're-
busted, what's his name? Chong or Cheech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Chong.
Chong.
You
They
can-
they set him up, man. They had a whole RICO case against him.
Yeah, the guy was obsessed with him. I don't know if you ever saw. I saw it on something, but it was pretty stupid.
He talks about it on Jhovany Diaz's podcast, The Church of What's Happening Now. He talks about the whole.
Dave's not here, man.
Podcast. I don't listen to any
Some
podcasts
episodes.
really.
I try to listen to ours, but then it's like,
I refuse to listen to ours because I already have to sit through it for an hour recording it, and then I have to edit it for upwards of 6 hours. So I refuse to listen to my voice for any longer than I have to.
hey, at least you're not throwing in like the little quips of words and stuff like that anymore.
Oh, I do every once in a while. Usually it's like my editing process is the first 15 minutes is all like it's like a YouTube video. Like I will throw in the little quips and I'll throw in the jokes and the zooms and the woo. But once we get into the episode and we like have a good conversation, I stop it. And then at the end I'll throw in a couple quips. But before I would go through the entire episode. Like the first episode we ever posted, that was video episode 9.
Yeah.
It had every NFL logo. it had
Well,
our
that's because we
scores.
had to do that for.
Well, we didn't have to. I could have done it way easier, like a way
You
simpler.
missed a few of them.
There were some. No, I got all the logos and everything. Everything was.
No, you
right,
missed
like-
some logos that were off. Well, you got them all in there, but some of them were off, like timing.
Sure, yeah. Of course, you're only gonna get it so much, and some of them I intentionally put like after we started talking about them because we got off track.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of reasons why it looked the way it did. That was the one I spent like 12 hours editing that.
Jesus.
Because I didn't know
Christ.
how to edit in Sony Vegas. That was literally my first time opening Sony Vegas and editing a video. So I had to learn everything from scratch.
Well, yeah, because for like the first fucking 8 weeks, we were.
It was all audio.
Yeah.
And even the 8th episode we had video for, but then I can't remember what went wrong. But
We didn't have video for the 8th episode.
No, because remember it was we messed up. Like the episode, the title was "We Messed Up."
Oh yeah.
It was supposed, and then that's
That
why I
was
said
the
our
one we
fir-
thought we were taking video and it was taking pictures
it
the
was taking
entire
pictures.
time.
That was the one where I was talking shit about John Gruden. Yeah. Which
God.
the Raiders are hopefully going to be good next year because I like the Raiders.
Are
and I
they in
think it'd be
Vegas
cool.
yet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they moved to
Okay.
Vegas this year.
Yep. Um,
I hope to God they get rid of Derek Carr, dude, and we can draft a fucking quarterback.
I don't know if they're
Like-
gonna. The problem is what quarterbacks are there in the draft right now that would go that far back to mid first?
They have the 10th overall pick, don't they?
Do they? I thought they
Or
were
like
because then they
16.
go like 8-8 or 7-9.
I think but they got the first round picks from. Oh no, that was from Chicago last year.
Yeah. Well, no, they have the Bears pick this year, but the Bears went 8-8. They have a better pick, or they have a worse pick than the Raiders this year. Because the Raiders went 7-9, the Bears went 8-8. Either way.
The
You said we would stop talking about
Raiders have the fucking. Son of a bitch. Oh, they announced that the 2023 draft is going to be in fucking the 2022 draft is going to be in goddamn Green Bay. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
What stadium? Lambeau?
The Raiders have the 12th,
12th, which is theirs.
12th, 19th from the 19th from the
is
Bears.
from the Bears.
Yeah,
I
they
think
have the
that's
12th and the 19th. I think
Yeah.
Justin Herbert's going to drop down to 12 and we can draft him there. I'm
don't know if he's really- Problem
so
is
pushing Justin Herbert.
I wouldn't put it past them to draft him, but why would you get rid of Carr for a rookie quarterback that I don't think is NFL ready?
Well, who else would we get for Carr instead of Carr? Not
No,
Tom Brady.
You can keep. The thing is, you keep Carr and have the new kid learn behind him for a year or two until the contract expires.
If
He's
I
only got
was-
3 years left on his contract.
If I was John Gruden, I would not want anyone learning behind Derek Carr the last 2 years he's been playing.
He may not perform.
His first
that
couple
great,
years, he looked like Derek Carr. He looked like
and that's still the
someone
knowledge
else.
that he has.
And now he looks like David Carr.
The thing is, you know why he looks like David Carr? He's got the same offensive line struggles as David Carr. He finally has a
the
running
Raiders
back.
have a great offensive line. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Is that the guy from the Cars, the band from the 80s? The long neck, right?
If the Raiders
he
didn't have a
dead?
good offensive line, then why was Josh Jacobs one of the top rushing leaders in their league this year?
Same reason Saquon Barkley was. They have the worst. The Giants have had the worst offensive line in the league for 5 years. Jordan Howard, before they finally got their shit together, the Bears had a terrible offensive line. The first 3 years of Jordan Howard's career had a terrible offensive line. David Johnson, shitty offensive line.
Okay, see, but the difference between those players and Josh Jacobs is that those three guys you just listed are honestly, minus Jordan Howard, give or take, are probably, Saquon especially, are better
Jews.
than
Oh,
Josh
better.
Jacobs.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna discount them. Like, what are you talking?
No, oh God, no.
but
They're
here's the thing.
better athletes than Josh. And
I
don't get me
I-
wrong, as a Raiders fan,
Not Jordan Howard.
no, not Jordan Howard, no. But David Johnson, recent history, no. But Saquon's
David
one of the
Johnson's
best
not a
running
better
backs.
athlete. He's a better power back more than anything. The whole thing that I'm saying is that the offensive line is mediocre at best 90% of the time. They have their moments.
David
but then
Johnson's
also,
a fullback that can have that has speed.
pretty
basically.
much. But then also, what receivers besides Hunter Renfrow do the Raiders have?
Mike Williams.
He's still not. He's not an elite receiver to where it would help Derek Carr.
Well,
He's a
Tyrell
good
Williams.
receiver.
Sorry.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's a good receiver. Hunter Renfrow, a good receiver.
I think
I don't-
Hunter Renfrow is going to develop into one of the better receivers in the league.
I'm not saying he won't. I honestly 100%
He's
agree.
a Cooper Kupp type. He's a lot like Cooper
100%
Kupp.
agree. But the problem is that he's not that. That's why Derek Carr doesn't have a reliable target to throw to right now. When was the last time he had a good tight end?
Darren Waller.
I don't think he's in the same boat as Hunter Renfrow right now.
No, Darren
They can
Waller
develop
is,
it to be good.
Darren
I don't
Waller
think
is
they're that great yet.
Darren Waller's in like the middle of his career, but he's making a comeback. Granted, he only had 3
Exactly.
touchdowns
He's-
last year, but he had over 1,000 receiving yards.
Yes, and I understand that. But what I'm saying is that he isn't a shutdown, like lockdown tight end where I'm going to trust him if I were Derek Carr yet.
You
Next
only have
year,
2 or
after
3
he
of those
develop-
in the league.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is when you don't have any receivers, typically the ones that don't have those receivers will at least have some sort of tight end help, whether it's blocking or receiving. Finally, he has one, but when was the last time he had one before that? I don't even
Jared
think
Cook.
Jared Cook's a piece of he's garbage. He couldn't even perform well when he was on the Packers with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He was mediocre with the Packers. That's why they got rid of his ass for an old ass Jimmy Graham. Come on. So
Yeah, whatever happened to Jimmy Graham, man?
he fell off after he left New Orleans. Even though he
Yeah.
had similar stats in Seattle as he did New Orleans, he just fell off. That money, that big contract, fucked him, like
Yeah.
like they usually do. Either way, that's the episode. No more
Yes.
sports.
All
We
right.
always this is what happens. We always get on sports tangents.
We always get bitched at about how you guys are too much of a sports podcast.
Well,
Then we
we
get
gotta touch on it.
Yeah, well, it's not an episode with. If we
Why,
don't
what's with the
fucking go
name?
Floor chapstick.
Why'd you?
Nate?
So I was with my girlfriend one day, and I was like, I'm gonna do a podcast again, and she was like, okay, well, what are you gonna name it? And I was like, well, what do you think? And she was like, I don't know. What about floor chapstick? And I was like, why would you say that? And she's like, because there's chapstick on the floor right there. And it was, and we were in my car, and I was like, oh, it's opened. And I didn't know it was open. And I picked it up, and I was like, oh, it's open. And it was everything and anything on the floor was on that fucking podcast, on that chapstick. And I thought to myself, all right, if my podcast is going to be me talking about anything and everything, why not call it, something I found on the floor, this floor chapstick. And then that's how.
Which also works because we're the scummiest podcast on the internet sometimes. See, that's why I said that, because when he first brought the idea to me, because
It also took me before I brought the idea to you, it took me like 8 weeks to get the approval just to,
Yeah.
use the name Chapstick without having to give them royalties.
Well, the thing, what's funny though is he brought it. He put out a tweet saying, "Does anybody know anybody who does audio production?" I'm like, I went to school for that. Like, I was already graduated from school for doing that. So I'm like, you realize that's what I do, right? So I DM him and we get it set up from there. But while we were getting everything initially set up, I mentioned before we started recording Butter Side Down. was another name. Because
What does the butter side down mean?
so you know when you always whenever you drop a piece of toast or a piece of buttered bread, it always lands butter side down.
Okay.
And then it gets all that gunk, the hair and
Yeah, yeah,
bullshit.
yeah.
Same idea as floor chapstick, but it's like so I suggested. I mean, butter side down is a pretty dope name. He's like, I kind of like floor chapstick, so we went with it. But then I think it was last week we mentioned butter side down, and like, oh, that's a good name. You could do that as a solo thing.
This is making me so hungry. I haven't eaten in 20 hours. I'm trying to fast
We
until
keep
tomorrow.
going back to food too.
Yeah, dude. I might break my fast after this. I'm thinking about it, dude.
Go spend $300 on fast food.
I just want something, but no, there's food. But I'm supposed to not eat. I'm so close. So it's like I could just a few more hours and I'll go to bed and I don't have to eat till tomorrow when I go my 2-day. But
Yeah.
I just want to break it.
The temptation.
If you were gonna break it, what would you get?
I'd probably, who knows, whatever's close to me.
Oh, you know what I saw just today? That starting the 29th, so the last day of February, motherfucking Krispy Kreme is gonna start delivering donuts. Yo, the game has changed, my friends.
You know what I find funny?
What?
You were not
The
impressed. That
no,
was
the
beautiful.
the camera hasn't been recording for like 6 minutes
How do you know?
So- because we started recording again. The last clap sync
Oh,
was
you
at
tamed it.
31, and
What are these
we're at
claps
67.
for? What do those claps do? Inside baseball, I want to know.
So when you have a camera and you start recording,
Well, when you have our camera.
no, with any camera, because we separate the audio from the video,
Yeah.
you have to sync it up so that it looks like we're talking with it. So because it's two separate audio tracks. So when you do this, it's such a see that little spike at the beginning of the recording. You'll see my hands go here. So then when I go to line up the things, I'll line up that really sharp spike with sharp spike with seeing my hands go together.
Update your virus protection.
No,
There was one episode where we
this
were
thing's never
sitting.
connected to the internet, so I can't
Did
get a
you?
virus.
Okay.
Did you leave that in when we got scared by that sound?
Yeah, I actually found the sound effect online, downloaded it, and put it in, blasted it full volume
In the episode?
Yeah, at the end of the episode, like I clipped it at the end of the episode.
Oh, I gotta go back and
Yeah,
find that.
it's the very last like 5 seconds of the episode, the Halloween episode.
Last things last.
Last thing.
Wrapping up the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury note. As about 4 or 5 hours ago, Deontay actually parted ways with the trainer that threw in the towel in that match. So
You know what? Fuck Deontay Wilder.
If you're
dude.
boxing-
I don't like him anymore. I'm glad he got his ass kicked, dude. I liked him at a point, dude. Jhovany, fuck Deontay Wilder, dude, and fuck Donald Rollins. No, who defended him? Kevin Hart. I don't know. Somebody was defending him when I went to the comments there on Instagram. You know what? I hope he dies in his next fight, dude. Are you really? He fired. Well, if he fired his trainer because he feels like, hey, I need a new trainer, but because he threw in the towel, I hope him and his children die.
Wow,
Kobe.
so aggressive.
All right.
All right, I
really?
think it's time to wrap up this episode.
All right. Yeah. All right, guys. We will see you as usual on another episode of the.
Well, don't you want to thank our guests for coming?
Yeah,
on?
Oh yeah,
let me plug.
yeah.
Let me
Thanks,
plug.
Jhovany.
Wow.
Sorry.
Let me do some plugs.
Oh
Let me
yeah,
do
you
some
got anything
plugs.
you want to plug?
So the number one is follow my podcast, the Lobo Den. So
Where can they find that?
I know all the
In the
everything.
description.
The Lobo Den is on everything, so it's on everything. It's on all the social media or whatever the fucking platform. It's on all the platforms. And then when does this come out?
Sunday.
Sunday.
All right.
I might do it earlier. Who knows?
So
Okay.
anytime between now and
shows
the
coming up.
March 1st.
March 3rd. Okay, all right. Let's see. March 3rd, I will be at Zany's in Rosemont, that Tuesday 10 thing. So I'll be there. My social media is Lobo9110, so LOBO9110. Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, sort of, but I really just use that to try to get laid. So if you're going to follow me on Snapchat, then you're asking for it. Okay.
All right, guys. On that note, you know what to do. Peace.
Bye.